top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts Bringing Value Home. Foreigners snatching best jobs while Guyanese youths remain untrained and underemployed. Dr. Paul Williams. AFC shows political maturity, shares a stage with ALP presidential candidate. And court hears explosive testimony in elections trial ahead of ASHMINS site visit. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Monday, 28th July 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. We will tell you this evening that as Guyana pushes ahead with massive development projects and an expanding economy, troubling questions are being raised about who's really benefiting. Over the weekend, a former Deputy Commissioner of Police sounded the alarm on what he sees as a growing crisis. Young Guyanese being left behind while foreigners dominate the country's most lucrative skilled jobs. Here is more. Former Deputy Police Commissioner Dr. Paul Williams unleashed harsh criticism against the current administration, accusing it of failing to equip young people with the technical skills needed to thrive in today's job market. At a rally over the weekend in Bagotstown on the west bank of Demerara, Dr. Williams pointed to the growing presence of foreign workers dominating high-paying roles in construction, engineering, and other skilled trade roles he says should have gone to Guyanese. According to him, the country has created a system where locals are sidelined while foreigners cash in on the economic opportunities tied to major infrastructure projects. Williams painted a bleak picture of missed opportunities and warned that unless serious steps are taken to train the country's youth, foreign nationals will continue to reap the benefits of Guyana's progress.
So when you step out from the school, you can go into the field of work, you could go to GTI, or you had a school leaving exam, which once successful, you could have gone on to 5th and 6th form schools. Now, nothing like that is happening anymore.
According to a 2023 UNODC report, youth unemployment and limited access to education were attributed as significant risk factors for criminal involvement in Latin America and the Caribbean, including states like Guyana, who was notably not exempted from the report. Williams connected the absence of technical training to the rise in youth involvement in criminal activity, arguing that when young people are locked out of the labor market and have no viable path to economic independence, many resort to illegal means of survival.
As a result of that, many of them are leaving school very early. Check out the statistics, and those are the things that they're hiding from us. Many of them are leaving school very early.
Guyana has seen a steady rise in petty crime and gang-related activity within the last decade, even though police statistics continue to contradict that fact. His comments have added weight to growing concerns about the disconnect between Guyana's development and its domestic workforce, with several voices now calling for a national push towards technical and vocational education as a foundation for long-term growth. Antonio Day tells us that citizens are expected to enjoy a significant decline in the price of cooking gas for as low as $1,000 per cylinder. This bold promise was made by Head of State President Irfaan Ali should the People's Progressive Party Civic return to power after the September 1 polls.
We have already said that we'll reduce the cost of electricity by 50%. We'll reduce the cost of gas and that is cooking gas, which is essential.
That was President Irfaan Ali during a live video on Sunday outlining a slew of relief measures in the wake of the high cost of living. Ali, who's hopeful for a second term in office, is adamant that the People's Progressive Party Civic has clear strategies aimed at eliminating poverty and addressing the high cost of living. The head of state over the weekend noted that the citizens will see massive benefits from his administration's model gas to energy project, which is expected to come on stream in 2026.
Cooking gas is going to come down substantially. We are targeting a cylinder of cooking gas at $1,000. Now, that again is another essential item. That's another essential item that will reduce poverty.
Currently, the retail price for a 20-pound cylinder of cooking gas ranges between $4,500 and $5,600. Aubrey Norton, presidential candidate for your Partnership for National Unity, on numerous occasions has admonished the government regarding its ad hoc approach towards human resource development. At a recent press conference, Mr. Norton reminded that under a new dispensation, the living standards of citizens will be significantly improved.
Meet the UN Sustainable Development Goals and generally lift the quality of life of all Guyanese. The ultimate goal of development is not about merely building roads and bridges, but ensuring the well-being of all Guyanese people.
I am Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
More news ahead. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. You are with the HGP Nightly News. Leader of the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity, Simona Brooms, has commended political opponent, the Alliance for Change, for marshalling a new political phenomenon. Marvin Cato explains.
Woman is boss. Woman is boss. Woman is boss. Woman is boss.
Leader of the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity, Simona Brooms, given the opportunity to share a stage with her political opponent, the Alliance for Change, during a community meeting in West Remveld on Saturday. The ALP leader was quick to point out that the Alliance for Change undoubtedly has set the stage for a new political phenomenon which Guyana truly needs.
This in itself is saying to us as a nation that something new has begun to happen. Because the mere fact I can pass here and stop to listen to a meeting of the AFC and ask to come and share your podium, it is saying maturity is in the house. There's a space for all of us. Guyana need Brooms, Guyana need Nigel, Guyana need Laura, Guyana need all of us. Ain't no one man show or no bad man show. Nigel, you caught me off guard, boy. This is my maiden thing in the whole election campaign.
Brooms, who was a passerby at the time, said although she was caught off guard and was not expecting to be called to share a few words, acknowledged that political maturity shown by the AFC in inviting an opponent to grace the stage, it showed unity and what Guyana can become in the new political dispensation.
With this right here, it's bigger than Nigel and it's bigger than Brooms. You know, it's bigger than us. You know, and we got to humble ourselves. We got to put country and put people first.
She closed by thanking the AFC for the opportunity that was given and vowed to keep uniting in the future. The respective political parties have also been touting unity on the campaign trail. But according to Brooms, this gesture will resonate with the Guyanese electorate. Brooms, a former member and minister under the Partnership for National Unity, broke ranks and formed her own political movement early this year. Brooms will be contesting in 6 of the 10 administrative regions for the upcoming regional and general elections. This is Marvin Cato reporting for HGP TV Nightly News.
A dramatic bomb scare that failed to empty the building, witnesses who wouldn't budge, and testimonies of chaos and refusal to evacuate were among some of the explosive details heard on Monday as the high-profile trial in Guyana's March 2020 general and regional elections resumed before Magistrate Faith Magusty.
There were some explosive details heard on Monday as the high-profile trial into Guyana's March 2020 elections resumed before Magistrate Fit Augusti. In the middle of it all stands the ASHMINS building, once the headquarters of the Guyana Elections Commission, Command Center, and now the epicenter of one of the country's most closely watched legal proceedings. As courtroom tension mounted over evidence submissions, it was ultimately decided that the court will head to the ASHMINS building itself. On Wednesday at 9:30 hours, the magistrate, attorneys, and key witnesses will conduct a site visit to examine the location that has dominated testimonies for weeks. But before that, the trial offered no shortage of courtroom drama. The prosecution attempted to introduce an additional statement from witness Josh Kanai, one that they said added crucial detail to events that unfolded between March 3rd and 13, 2020 in the wake of the controversial general and regional elections. Kanai had already testified about the national recount, but prosecutors argued that his statement would clarify specific incidents during a critical period. Defense attorneys were quick to push back, calling the move an unfair ambush. They pointed out that the new statement lacked a date and was filed well past the disclosure deadline. Prosecutors countered that the statement had been sent to the Director of Public Prosecutions on June 17, but the judge ordered joint submissions from both sides to sort out the matter. While that legal tussle played out in the background, the trial pressed forward with live testimony from Assistant Superintendent of Police Dial. His account centered on March 5, 2020, when he was called to the ASHMIN building to respond to a bomb threat. Dial, the then inspector assigned to the Criminal Investigations Department and in charge of the bomb disposal unit, recalled arriving with his team to find top officers already on the scene. Among them was Assistant Commissioner of Police Edgar Thomas, the then regional commander for 4A. Thomas, Dial said, addressed everyone inside. He said, "There is a bomb in the building. Please evacuate the building." He said it more than once, but in a twist that stunned the courtroom, Dial testified that no one took the warning seriously. No one left the building, he said flatly. Despite the repeated warnings and the presence of the bomb squad, the occupants of the ASHMINS building, including top election and party officials, remained inside. Dial said his team eventually left the building, then waited outside for nearly an hour before being instructed to return to their office. No bomb was ever found. The incident has gained renewed attention as the trial puts a spotlight on what exactly transpired inside the ASHMINS compound during the most contentious election in recent memory. 9 individuals are facing charges for allegedly conspiring to rig the results in favor of the then governing APNU AFC coalition, including former government minister Valdo Lawrence, ex-chief elections officer Keith Lorenfield, former Region 4 returning officer Clement Mingo, and former deputy chief elections officer Roxanne Myers. Wednesday's visit will include witnesses who have already testified, such as local government minister Sonia Parag, observer Rosalinda Rasul, former commander Edgar Thomas, and Kian Jabo. The court has approved video recording of the visit and will allow measurements to be taken for accuracy. Witnesses are also expected to point out specific areas they refer to during their testimony. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thanks, Antonio. He will now tell us that despite government's touting of creating 50,000 jobs and even more for Guyanese, there are many university graduates who are underemployed and unemployed. However, under the Partnership for National Unity APNU coalition government, a more holistic approach will be taken, says that party's presidential candidate, Aubrey Norton.
A lot of it is dependent on our expanding the economic base. Once we generate those jobs, many of them are going to be high-paying jobs.
That was Aubrey Norton, presidential candidate for the Partnership for National Unity, responding to questions posed by Nightly News regarding his party's approach towards underemployed and unemployed university graduates, should he be elected to office in September. The APNU's presidential candidate reasoned that the scenarios of underemployment among university graduates will finally be rectified.
There's a lot of scope in information technology for us to do the things we want to do, and we believe those jobs are going to pay much higher salaries and therefore the young people coming out of the university, etc., shouldn't have to worry about that.
Mr. Norton also iterated that the APNU coalition will pass a supplementary budget to begin raising the living standards for every Guyanese household, from cash transfers to pension increases. Every student in tertiary and technical institutes will receive a 50,000 monthly stipend, the aspirant president vowed. The seasoned politician, in his message to overseas-based Guyanese, said their ideas and expertise will aid in the party's effectiveness once elected to government are welcome.
That there is a place for you in Guyana, and it doesn't have to be physical. With the advancements of technology, one can have consultancies and other forms of help from Guyanese in the diaspora that will redound to the benefit of the Guyanese society, especially its economy.
Plans were also revealed to increase the tax-free threshold to $400,000 per month. This measure, the seasoned politician said, is expected to benefit 225,000 public sector workers and those who are self-employed. I am Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned, we have more news for you.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Welcome back. You with the HGP Nightly News. The president of the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry has lauded the government for diversifying the agriculture sector to the extent that more women are active in the field of agro-processing. Antonio Day spoke with the newly elected president and filed this report.
Given the proliferation of women in the field of agriculture, particularly agro-processing, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry is collaborating with stakeholders to ensure women-led micro-enterprises are more acclaimed. This was related by Kathy Smith, GCCI's first female president, during an exclusive interview with Nightly News recently.
We are now seeing a lot of policies and areas being shaped out for women in agro-processing. GCCI, of course, have an opportunity to set up a micro enterprise for women in agro-processing, where we're going to extend training in terms of standards, marketing, branding, packaging, and so on.
Smith acknowledged the rapid development in the area of agriculture, where women can able to generate incomes.
Our country is going as it relates to agro-processing and agriculture.
Smith, who is also active in the Business Consortium as a waterproofing specialist, happily reported the inclusion of more small businesses in the construction industry. The GCCI president said that the chamber has been pushing for this.
We have seen coming out, specifically from the ministry, that a lot of small businesses are doing executing projects that normally are given to large construction firms.
She expressed to Nightly News her profound gratitude to policymakers that are collaborating with the private sector as it relates to promoting micro-enterprises.
Look at who's behind it. It's us, as small businesses are getting the opportunity.
She previously served as a senior vice president, secretary, and she was the chairperson of the Chamber's Petroleum Committee, as well as the Human Resource Management and Capacity Building Committee. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Interested in honoring or paying tribute to a loved one, or just making a loved one feel special? HGP TV offers you all that and more. Air your birthday greetings, death announcements, and wedding anniversaries on HGP TV today. HGP TV offers affordable prices, convenience, and great services. Call us on 220-3660 or email us at sales@hgptv.com. ALETHEA.com.
Good evening and welcome to Monday's edition of the Regional News. We begin with news in Trinidad and Tobago. Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander recently held extensive and productive discussions with his Jamaican counterpart, Dr. Harris Chang, Minister of National Security of Jamaica, on ways to improve the area of crime prevention and detection. According to a press release, the two countries discussed ways to ensure that the channels of communication between the relevant authorities tasked with combating crime in their respective countries remain opened and are nurtured. The press statement added that the meeting solidified the bonds of friendship between Trinidad and Tobago and set the tone for a strengthened partnership on security matters during Jamaica's tenure as chair of CARICOM from July 1 to December 31st, 2025. Continuing with news in the Caribbean. The Development Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean said that the Caribbean must take a larger role in the global AI revolution. In a statement, the University of the West Indies said the message was shared at day one of the second annual AI conference in Antigua and Barbuda on June 23, 2025. CAF's regional manager, Dr. Stacey Richards Kennedy, encouraged the region to take ownership of its digital future by ensuring that AI strategies are ethical, inclusive, and firmly grounded in the development of the region. The UE 5 Islands AI Conference, now in its second year, is an international forum which is focused on advancing artificial intelligence for sustainable development in the Caribbean. And finally, with some international news. The leaders of Cambodia and Thailand agreed to a ceasefire on Monday, effective midnight, in a bid to bring an end to their deadliest conflict in more than a decade after 5 days of fierce fighting. Thai and Cambodian leaders met in Malaysia, hosted by Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, and agreed to halt hostilities and resume direct communications amid international efforts to resolve the conflict. Anwar said when opening a press conference alongside the Thai and Cambodian leaders that there would be an immediate and unconditional ceasefire with effect from midnight tonight. This is final, he said. The Southeast Asian neighbors accused each other of starting the fighting last week before escalating it with heavy artillery, bombardment, and Thai air strikes along their 817 kilometers land border. Anwar had proposed ceasefire talks soon after a long-running border dispute erupted in conflict on Thursday, and China and the United States also offered to assist in negotiations. Thank you for watching. I am Antonio Day. Goodbye for now.
Foreigners snatching best jobs while Guyanese youths remain untrained and underemployed. Dr. Paul Williams. AFC shows political maturity, shares a stage with ALP presidential candidate, and court hears explosive testimony in elections trial ahead of ASHMINS site visit. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching.